On to our final lesson, angles and measures. There are a few formulas that you should be familiar with, so I will introduce one, solve questions, and then introduce the next and solve questions, and so on. So for our first two formulas that you should be familiar with are the conversions from degrees to radians and radians to degrees. So to convert from degrees to radians, you multiply by pi over 180. And to convert from radians to degrees, you multiply by 180 over pi. And with that, let's get to the questions. First question is asking us to convert from 420 degrees to radians. So following the formula, converting from degrees to radians requires us that we multiply by pi over 180. Since a calculator will be allowed for the test, you can just always use it. So 420, I'll just make it times pi over 180. So it's 7 over 3 pi, or 7.33, depending on what they ask you in the question. If they ask for the answer in pi, you choose this one. If they ask for degrees, they use this one. So for the next question, they're asking us to convert from 9 pi over 4 to degrees. So again, following the formula, converting from radians to degrees requires us that we multiply by 180 over pi. So we just put this on the calculator. Again, we bring the calculator. 9 pi over 4 times. The answer is 405 degrees. And that's our answer. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, so the next idea we need to be familiar with is coterminal. So in the word coterminal, co means the same and terminal means where it stops. So a coterminal angle, for the angle, let's say angle 30. I'll draw the coordinate plane to make it more clear. X-axis, y-axis. So a coterminal of this angle needs to end in the same place where this angle is. So since we know a 360 degrees is a full circle, adding or subtracting 360 degree will always end in the same place. So as a general rule to follow, I'll write it down. Angle. This is the non-coterminal angle. So angle plus 360 plus or minus, since you can go this way or this way, or this way or the other way. This is a bit messy. So 360 ends because the end here is because we can rotate it as many times as we want. We can just keep going and going and going. As long as it stops at the same place, it's coterminal. And this equals the coterminal angle. This rule is also true in radians. So let's say a radian angle. To get it, you can just convert 360 with the rule we followed. So it's 360 times pi over 180. This will be 2. It will be 2 pi. So radian, this is the angle, and then plus minus 2 pi gives you the coterminal of that angle. But this time in radian. So if you ever forget one of them, you can always convert it. Now, following the rule we just learned, to get the coterminal of a degree angle, you add or subtract 360. So 87 plus or minus 360, since it's a degree angle. If it was radians, we would use the 2 pi. And to 360n. So you can imagine all the possibilities we can get here. There are so many options. So in the test, they usually give you a restriction, such as a negative 360 restriction like this. So using a restriction like this, the only answer that would work would be 87 minus 360. Because if you add 87 plus 360, it will obviously be greater than 360. So the only answer that works is this one. So now we get the calculator. 87 minus 360. Negative 273. And that's our only coterminal angle based on this restriction. So here once again they're asking us for the coterminal, but this time it's in radians. So following our rule, our radian rule this time, because it's in radian, it's negative pi plus minus 2 pi. So we have to think of a number that's in this restriction, and the only number that works is negative pi plus 2 pi. Because if it's negative pi minus 2 pi, it will be negative, it will equal to negative 3 pi, and that's not in our restriction. So negative pi plus 2 pi is equal to pi. And that's our only answer. This one's rejected. Okay, so next we have degree, minute, and second. So let's say we have this angle. I know it's a 1 degree angle, but this may not look like a 1 degree angle, but just bear with me here. So a minute is just a smaller measurement for the degree. So I'll use the line tool. So we can use this. We can use minute to measure these, and so on. And then the second is a measurement of the minute. This may seem confusing, but the actual solving is way easier than the concept itself. So the way you can convert from degrees to DMS, which is short for degree minute second, is by following these few steps. So first of all, to get I'll write it here down, degree, then minute, then second. So first of all, the degree is the number before the decimal point. So it's 82. So the degree is just 82. And then to get the minute, you take the number after the decimal point, which is 0.074, and you multiply it by 60. And then this should get you 0.074 times 6. 4.44. 4.44. And again, you take the whole number of this one, the one before the decimal point, and that's your minute. So this is the minute. And then you take the one after the decimal point, which is 0.44. And then you multiply it by 60 to get the seconds. So again, 0.44 times 60 is 26.4. 26.4. And you take the number before the decimal point, so it's 26. So the DMS would be 82, then this, 4, and 26. These are just how you measure the second is the 2 quotation marks basically. Then the minute is just 1. So there's an easier way, since you have your calculator, so you can always just use a calculator here. So first you put the angle given the one here, it's 82.074. Then you press equal. Then you convert it to decimal. Then you press on this button right here. And then it gives you the degree, minute, second. So it's 82, 4, and 26. Okay, so here we have it the other way around. We have DMS, and they're asking us for the degrees. So the way you can do it without a calculator is I'll explain it first without a calculator, and then I'll explain it with a calculator. So you open a bracket, parentheses, same thing, then 23, this is all in degree, plus 42 over 60 plus 48 over 3600. Okay, now the reason that you do this, you're converting the minute to degree, and then you're converting the second to degree. So why 60 and why 3600? It's because 1 degree is 60 minutes. And then 1 minute, 60 seconds. And that's how you do it. So basically you're converting this to degree and this to degree. And then you add them all. So now with the calculator, it's this symbol again. You can just use it 3 times. Each time so the first time is for the degree, the second time is for the minutes, third time is for the second. So it's 23, then degree, then 42, then minute, then 48, then second. Equal, then you press this button. So you have 23.713. So if we compare this number with the number we got without a calculator, let's just calculate this one too. 42 over 60 plus 48 over 3600. It's the same value. One of the final formulas you're going to need for this lesson is S is equal to R times theta. So S is the arc length, R is the radius, and theta is the angle in radians. So let's get an exercise right ahead. So this is one of our previous homeworks. This is the arc length. This is what we're gonna be calculating. So we'll list the values we have. So R is equal to 3. Then theta, we have it in degrees, so we'll have to convert it to radians. So it's to convert from degree to radians, pi times 180. 120 times pi over 180. So we cross this out, it will be 2. Cross this out with 3, so it's 2 over 3. You can always do it on a calculator. Theta is equal to 2 over 3 pi. So to get the arc length, we multiply the r by the theta. It's 3 times 2 over 3 pi. This crosses out with this, so the answer is 2 pi, or if they ask for it in non-pi, 2 times pi. So it's 6.28. 6.28. That's the arc length. Okay, second to last formula you're going to need in this lesson is the A equal to 1 over 2 r squared times theta. So A is the area of a sector. If you do not know what a sector is, think of it as a slice of pizza. It will be more clear in our example. So then 1 over 2 is 1 over 2. And then r is the radius, it's r squared. Then theta is the angle in radian. So we'll use the same example we used last time. So this time we're asked for the area of the sector. This is the sector. Again, you can think of it as a slice of pizza. So R is 3, then theta, it's in degree, so we have to convert it to radian. 120 times pi over 180. So it becomes 2 over 3 pi. So then we just use the formula. A is equal to 1 over 2 times 2 over 3 pi squared times... no, this is not squared. This is the theta times 3 squared. So equal to, just use a calculator, 1 over 2 times 2 over 3 pi times 3 squared. So the answer is 3 pi. The last formula you're gonna use for this lesson is A equal to SR over 2. Now this formula is a combination of the previous two formulas, A equal to 1 over 2 R squared theta, and S is equal to R theta. We can rearrange this so I can explain it easier. 1 over 2 R times R theta. So all we did is take this one from here and replace it by S. A equals 1 over 2 RS. We can rearrange it to A is equal to SR over 2. Now to our exercise. This time it's not the same exercise. So if the area of the sector is 39 and the length is 5, what is the measure of the central length? So A is 39, S is 5. Okay, so we can use this formula to get the radius, and then using the radius, we can use either one of these formulas to get the factor. So we'll first of all use this formula. So it's 39 equal to 5R over 2. We have a calculator on the test, so we can always use it. 39 equal to 5x over 2. Shift solve 15.6. So our radius, that's not it. Our radius is 15.6. But they're not asking for the radius, they're asking for the central angle, so we can use either one of these formulas. I'll use the second one because it's easier. So S is 5, and R is 15.6, then theta. Again, we can use shift solve. 5 is equal to 15.6 times x, 0.32. So theta is equal to 0.32 radian, but they're asking for the angle in degrees. So it's 0.32 times 180 over pi. So the final answer will be 180 over pi, 18.36, 18.36 degrees. And that's our final answer.
That'll be it for the math section of the final exam. All 4 lessons are available on the channel. Just check them out if you want to review or just a summary. And if you have any questions, you can ask them down in the comments below or on the server, and enjoy them.